far.
What are your thoughts on player notes? I think it's cringe and players should have to memorize or think on the fly. I think if you tell me what you think is on there, I'll start to validate your opinion. What is on the average player's notes? Depends from team to team. But I kind of did. I started to not think that this guy's opinion was good because he was talking about they should have to memorize or think on the fly. I just don't think he knows what's on the notes because it's not really thinking. It doesn't take away thinking. If anything, it just kind of empowers it. Well, we'll go with old Mythic notes, okay? And before you tease me and laugh at Mythic, the analyst we yoinked for Mythic that helped us as a coach for a little while helped Gamer Legion when they made the finals of the major, and then he's now at Passion UA. And the way Luca always laid out notes, usually at the top would be, well, for online games, he'd have map vetoes to help remind me.
This is just the same thing that happens.
We'd already talked about it, but it's just like a refresher. And then at the top of each map would be players' teams' positions, so you could play nameplate Counter-Strike easier. At the top of the notes for us, we would usually have the names. So if we're playing Ancient, it would say like Fred mid, you know, or like Ted B, that kind of stuff. And then you would have notes of teams' tendencies. You would usually have pistol round tendencies, and if we decided, and if we had our own strat, it was usually just a reminder of our own strat. But usually the notes are just basically reminders. You're not relying on them to tell you what to do as much as it's just reminding you about what you already decided. So that's kind of why I thought it was weird that somebody was coming at the notes. It doesn't, at least for us, everything that was on the notes was already talked about, and it was just simply like to be a quick reminder. That's also why you don't see people like going crazy, like they look at the notes, but they're glancing at them, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers like pick up a sheet. They pick up a sheet and then they're just fucking flipping through the next one. Are you sure it's not pictures of smoke lineups? I mean, I can't speak for everyone. No, we never did though. We didn't have any pictures in ours. Although maybe for Mythic we should have. Maybe my teammates would have looked at it more. Oh, that looks wrong. Some pictures would have been lit. Golfers put pictures of the tee shot with the lineups. Yeah. I assumed it was like more set plays from certain spots, kind of like how basketball coach could call plays just pre-drawn up. No, you're going to have those already in your head. You're usually putting teams' tendencies and what you talked about previously as reminders in there about what you might want to call. So instead of calling out in detail, these guys know how to slot into rounds. They're usually more like, remember, if this team is on a half buy, they like to play this, right? And then it'll probably have in parentheses like, or in some format, it'll have like, this is what we talked about, how we want to play this round. Like these guys like to gamble stack A with a guy, maybe, and then like you'll remember that the gamble stack had like a guy sandwich, under balk, whatever. Or maybe the team likes to gamble stack B, so like splitting through mid is very easy against them, things like this. It's usually more like a scouting report, correct? Yeah, because if you need help remembering a lineup or an execute in the game, looking at a sheet will not help you. And the chances that somebody fucks it up are incredibly high. It's usually pattern. Yeah, it's just tendencies. Because you don't want a hard counter strat either. You do not like, unless you, sometimes it's worth to hard what we call like a hard counter or anti strat, like one round, maybe, because it's so dangerous versus good teams. Because they have so much depth to what they're doing, and they know people are watching their shit. So like people will also run something that looks very similar from their last demo, but then they'll just change one little thing. So you don't want to, it can be very dangerous, like going for hard set plays, hard set counter strats, instead of just understanding what's possible and likely in a round is much stronger usually. Hey, you know what? I'll fucking show you some, maybe. If it's like a team that's dead or something like that. Here, you want to see an old one? Flashbang out.
We also had to praise that what he's putting in on the effort.
Here.
I don't want to say a star on the other side of things.
So you can see, this is like what, and remember, Luca,
because I was very excited.
This is Luca would usually, this is very light. This is a light prep.
Hasn't been a whole lot of series.
So just talk about vetoes up here with me. Talk about what they like to do in the vetoes.
I don't know
each position on Anubis, a map that he's expecting us to play. This isn't a util lineup. He's just trying to visualize where somebody likes to sit, right? You see what's going on? Like, just little things like this. So these are not like hard strats though, right? You see what I'm saying? And these are usually things that you talk about beforehand. Like, so then, and then here's the T-side positions, what they like to do. tendencies. This is, I'm not gonna say every team's like he has way more in-depth notes than these, but this is a good like idea. Link, I'm not no. I mean, you might be able to still get it. It's like, but yeah, it's just like a little thing that you can see. And then now just imagine what you're seeing there in those ideas, but like expanded upon even more. That's probably like 20% of what they actually do. That's what, nah, I honestly stopped having the guys get the notes because they don't use them. But the amount of times that something would be on there and the other team did it and the other guys would be shocked when Luca told them would be hilarious. Remember when I was playing really well and calling really well in Astana? That type of shit is what I was using. Luca was helping quite a bit with that. That's pretty cool. Thanks for showing that. No problem, man. Shout out Luca.